Hi, this is Nick Farrow with English Discovery. Today's lesson is about yes-no questions. Sometimes you will see Chinese characters in my lessons to explain some of the more difficult grammar words to help some students. One more point. You will need some time to think about some of the questions. At those times, I will suggest that you pause the video. Also, in this lesson, we need to be careful to contrast the be verb, I am, you are, he is, they are, and general verbs, such as go and think. Next, we have the helping verbs, like do and will. Check these words if you need to. One more thing. Please be sure you understand these expressions before you continue. Pause if you need to. Okay, next we're going to do a quick review of the previous lesson on negative forms. Do you remember this? In the first sentence, you can see the be verb first, then not. I was not at home. The next three sentences have the verbs come, finish, and dance. Plus, they have helping verbs. The be helping verb, the have helping verb, and the can helping verb. Finally, we have the verb like, but no helping verb. And we needed to add the do helping verb to make the negative sentence. The last example is in the simple present tense, which is not so simple. Let's review this point. The main problem with negative forms is to remember to use the do helping verb in the simple present and simple past. It is do plus not plus verb. Some examples. The main verbs are get up, have, like, talk, and go. Going back to the top example, in the original sentence, there is no helping verb and no be verb, so you need a do helping verb. And in the third example, don't forget the es for he, she, and it. One more point about this pattern. Do plus not plus verb. That's verb. Be careful, don't confuse this pattern with the be verb, which goes with a noun, an adjective, or a prepositional phrase. Let's check these examples for the be verb. So you must not say, I do not ready, etc. Do and did go with a verb only. Okay, let's move to the main lesson. To introduce the topic of yes-no questions, we're going to look at an interview of an imaginary actor whose name is Angela Andrews and an imaginary journalist called Joe King. He is a strange journalist because he only asks yes-no questions. You should read this conversation at least 2 or 3 times. First, read it for the meaning, because there's no purpose in studying grammar without understanding the meaning. The interview is presented in 2 slides, so please pause the video until you have read the first slide, and then move on to the second slide. If you have read it once for meaning, please go back and read it again, carefully looking for yes-no questions. How many can you find? The next slides will show you the answer. Okay, 1 or 2 comments first on meaning. Joe says, uh-huh, 1 or 2 times. This means okay or yes or I understand. Typically American style, I think. He also uses what about. What about plus noun. It's not a yes-no question. It isn't even a WH question, really. It just raises a topic. One more is really, which is not a question grammatically, but it is short for a question like, is that really true? Also, near the end, must you and are you are short forms about what the actor had said. Notice that he uses the same helping verbs that she used in her sentence. Next, let's study how we make yes-no questions. If you studied the earlier part of the series on forming negative sentences, then you should notice some similar points in the process. Here we have 4 simple sentences. The subject of each sentence is yellow, and the verb unit is red. Watch the process as we change them to yes-no questions. It's easy to see that we have moved the first verb in each case in front of the subject of the sentence. In fact, the first sentence is a be verb. There's only one verb, but it's still the first verb, so it moves in front of the subject. The other 3 sentences contain helping verbs, which also move before the subject. Let's look at that one more time. Very good. Okay, there you go. Now, when you are speaking, if your intonation does not go up at the end, then the grammar and the intonation do not match, and your listener will be confused about the meaning. Is he from Canada? Can your brother drive a car? Have you ever been to Korea? Is there a coffee shop near here? Okay, now you should be ready for some practice. Please make these sentences into yes-no questions. Pause the video until you are ready, and then I will give the answers. I suggest you repeat the answers after me. This is one way of helping you develop the language in your mind. Okay, so the answers are, number 1, will they come soon? Number 2, can Mr. Carter swim? 3, is he a police officer? 4, is Jackie dancing? 5, are Tom and Jerry playing? 6, must you drink beer? 7, is this movie interesting? 8, is my lunch ready? 9, is there a coffee shop near the station? 10, are there 2 elevators in this building? Okay. Now, what we are doing here is a grammar exercise, but it is important not to forget that grammar is only a tool for expressing meaning. Most of the questions you can see here are simply for information. However, in the case of number 6, it's more likely that this person is complaining about the person who is drinking beer. Here is another opportunity to practice. Please pause before I give the answers. And the answers are, number 1, was she late yesterday? Number 2, were Jim and Terry absent yesterday? 3, will they go home tomorrow? 4, can you help me? 5, can I help you? 6, were they busy yesterday? 7, was she hungry? 8, is Jack's wife Japanese? 9, was she sleeping at 7 o'clock? 10, can we go to Seoul by bus? Again, a note on meaning. Number 4 is a request for help, and number 5 is an offer to help. I guess these are often heard in a shopping situation, maybe. That's all for the first half of the lesson. Please take a break and then prepare to challenge the second half of the so-called simple tenses.